wave state, your brain starts to do all kinds of miraculous things. Some of the things that it does is it creates more what we call dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical in your brain that makes you feel happy. So let's say you're a person who suffers from depression, right? A lot of times when you meditate, you can overcome that. Yes.
How do you spell that dopamine?
Dopamine, D-O-P-A. D-O-P-A. M-I-N-E.
Okay.
Okay. Now, that dopamine chemical makes you feel a sense of being happy. You feel fulfilled because it gives you a sense of being rewarded. And also, one thing that happens with dopamine is released in your brain is that you have very powerful visualizations. Your reality gets created by what you visualize. Whatever you can see in your mind becomes your reality. So once you feel that dopamine kick in your mind, and you start to have powerful visualizations, once you control what you visualize and visualize what you want, you can make that happen in your life. A lot of times we visualize all day, every day, and we visualize all the stuff we don't want. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get suspended. I don't want this. I don't want that. That's all negative visualization. And you realize every time you say, I don't want this to happen, I don't want that to happen, it happens. It always pop up. Sometimes you say, man, something bad ought to happen today. When you visualize it in your mind, it comes true. But once you learn how to control that and visualize positive things, you'll understand, you'll start to feel better, and good things will start to happen around you. Right? So, another thing that happens when you're in the theta brainwave state, you have a part of your brain called the parietal lobe. The parietal lobe helps you understand your space or your place in three-dimensional space. So I feel my body. I feel I'm standing on the floor. If I touch the table, I can feel it, all because of my parietal lobe, right? It creates boundaries. It makes me feel like I am standing where I am, right? But once you meditate and get into a calm state of mind, it gets rid of or deactivates the parietal lobe, which means that now, instead of me feeling like I have boundaries, I have skin, I have bones, there's the floor, there's the wall. Instead of me feeling like I have boundaries, you know how I feel? I feel infinite. All those boundaries go away. So with my eyes closed in a meditative state, I feel like I'm the universe itself. I feel connected to everything. When I sit and meditate on compassion, I feel compassion for all living creatures. And I start crying because it's so overwhelming. I can literally feel things that's not in my body. I can feel the wind outside. I can feel the universe itself taking place all within me, all because my parietal lobe has shut down. Once your parietal lobe shuts down, that increases your ability to connect with other people. So now you have compassion for more people. You have a deeper sense of connection to more people. Because you don't have a boundary there's no boundary between me and you. Now all is one. Me and you are the same, once I break that down. So now I can't hurt somebody because me and him are the same. If I hurt you, I hurt myself. In your brain, you have what they call neurons, which are your brain cells. You also have something called mirror neurons. Your mirror neurons are parts of your brain cells that develop once you meditate, so that way when you see somebody else going through pain, you feel their pain. Like for instance, if I'm working on something and I cut my hand, somebody else in the room might see me and go, because they kind of feel that pain a little bit. So imagine once you meditate and you heighten your mirror neurons. So when I'm feeling something, you will feel the exact same thing I'm feeling. So we won't be able to hurt each other. So meditation not only makes you feel more powerful, but it strengthens your relationships with other people. So imagine if everybody in the hood was meditating. I wouldn't be able to go outside and shoot nobody if I was meditating. Because me and you are one. If I hurt you, I'm going to hurt myself. So meditation is very important as far as building up our community and building up ourselves. Everything starts within. So if you can build yourself up, make yourself feel more powerful. Yes, sir.
So, when you say like you and someone as like one, right? When you say you hurt somebody, you hurt yourself. What you mean, like if you hurt somebody physically, you hurt yourself emotionally in that way? Or?
I definitely mean it that way, but it's deeper than that simply because with the mirror neurons, you could actually sometimes feel somebody else's physical pain. Right. Literally. You could literally feel, sometimes you can literally feel somebody else's physical pain. Literally. Like, for instance, when I was really meditating heavy, my wife was pregnant. She got sick. So every time she got nauseous, I'd be nauseous. Every time she woke up in the morning with a banging headache, I'll be at work. I wouldn't even know. I'll be at work, she'll call me and be like, I got a banging headache. I got a banging headache too? What? Because we had that connection because I was meditating so much, my mirror neurons was connected to her. They call that, well, part of what they call that is relational interdependence, when you and another person start to become one. So when she was going through pain, I was going through pain. So I couldn't let her suffer. Whenever she said, I want something from McDonald's, or I want something from Wendy's, it'd be like midnight, and I just get up and go in the freezing cold because I couldn't let her suffer. that I'd be suffering. So that's the part I want to realize. Anyhow, so once you get to this point, something else starts to happen too. This is the most important part. At that point, when you're at the theta brainwave state, if you are in a state of pure consciousness or higher consciousness, you are able to literally change your brain. Your brain is in charge of all your habits, all your unconscious and involuntary responses to your environment. So, a lot of times you'll walk into a room and do something without even thinking. You might walk into a room as soon as you walk in, you just slump your feet. Anything, any little habit that you have, because your brain is embedded with that habit. But once you get into a theta brainwave state, you can start changing your habits and changing how you respond to things. So a lot of times people who suffer from PTSD because of trauma they went through in the past, once you get to that theta brainwave state, your brain is producing dopamine. You lose your parietal, your parietal lobe deactivates. What happens is now at this point in time, you can start putting thoughts into your mind to change how you respond to things. So if you have a short temper, right, and you feel like, oh, my temper's out of control, I can't control it. I can't control my temper, I get mad too fast. Once you're in that state of theta brainwave state and you're in a trance for meditation, you can actually program your brain to do what you want, as opposed to letting things happen that you don't want. So if you're not in control of your behavior and not controlling your thoughts, once you enter into that brainwave state, you can literally rewrite a new program for your brain, like a computer. Computers do what they do because you can write programs to tell the computer what to do. You can literally tell your brain what to do. If you're sick and you meditate enough, you can say to your brain, I don't want to be sick. Heal me right now. It can happen. I've heard stories about guys who are gurus. A guru is a meditation teacher or a meditation master from India. A lot of times I've heard stories about gurus who fractured their ankle and they sat down and meditated and said, get rid of it. I don't want my ankle fractured no more. Heal me. I've heard of gurus going into the hospital with knife wounds and bullet wounds and they made themselves stop bleeding and heal. Your brain can literally do for your body whatever you want it to do. And your brain can literally change whatever you want. Use the mind to control the brain. The mind and the brain are two separate things. The brain and the body are disconnected. The brain is physical, the body is physical. The mind actually is something different. And you can use your mind to control your brain. That's why I'm telling y'all it's so important for you to control your thoughts. Because your thoughts have so much impact on your body. If you have negative thoughts all day long, what happens? You get sick. I know individuals are sick from January to January because all they think is negative thoughts. All day long, I'm sick of this, I'm sick of that, I hate this, I hate that. And before you know it, they're walking around sniffling all the time. Can't get rid of that cold, can't get rid of that cough. Because the cortisol that your body produces when you get stressed out, it's like acid for your body. When you get sick, it messes up your immune system, messes up your heart, messes up your blood pressure. So you're stressed out all the time, it hits your body. It takes its toll on your body. So it's important to learn how to control your mind, control your body. You have to learn how to take control over your mind, or else you can't control your future. You cannot control your future. You cannot control your reality. You cannot control your health. You cannot control your body. You can't control your money spending habits. You can't control nothing in your life if you can't start with controlling your mind. You gotta take mastery over that. When I say mastery, I don't just mean a little bit of control. Mastery means you control it on the highest level. So when you wake up in the morning, sometimes you think to yourself a negative thought. Mastery means that you don't even allow that thought to enter into your mind. Because every single time you think a negative thought, what happens? Your body produces negative chemicals. If you think a positive thought and believe it, you create positive chemicals. Chemicals like serotonin, oxytocin, and dopamine. These chemicals get created when you think happy thoughts. So the kind of thoughts you think literally can change your neurochemistry. So a lot of times you might see somebody who might say, I'm suffering from depression. And sometimes depression is something you might need medication for. But a lot of times I've seen individuals who don't need medication, they need meditation. They don't need to take no pill. To deal with that, all they gotta do is control what they're thinking. A lot of times when you get sick, and I've seen it myself, sometimes I've gotten sick because I'm thinking negative thoughts all day. I might be in a bad mood, next thing you know I got the flu. I'm in bed, can't get up. Or my stomach is upset. Because thinking of negative thoughts can literally poison your body. Thinking positive thoughts can literally bring your body into a healthy state. It's individuals who cured themselves of cancer. Individuals who had cancer and said, I'm about to beat this. There's a story about a woman who had cancer, and they said, you only got like 6 months to live. Sorry, nothing to do. So she said, I'm about to overcome this. I want to start putting happy thoughts in my mind and meditating on happiness and nothing else. So she said for 6 months, all she watched was comedies. The only movie she watched was comedy movies. When she would hang out with her friends, she only hung out with the happiest friends. She didn't sit in the house by herself alone. She was always on the go. She decided she wanted to use happiness as her medication. And it worked. She went back to the hospital, went back to the doctor. The doctor looked at her and said, "We can't find cancer." Now, some people might say it's a false positive, but she was a false positive. She was tested multiple times. And multiple times they said, "Yeah, you got cancer, you're going to die." "Yeah, you got cancer, you're going to die." And then it was finally gone when she changed her thinking. As a matter of fact, how you think can actually treat the cancer in the first place. That's something else they don't teach you. That a lot of times your body gets screwed up simply from thinking negative thoughts all day, every day. That stress hormone that your body creates, cortisol, is deadly. It's deadly. Imagine every time you think a negative thought, you're taking a little sip of poison. That's true. Every time you think a negative thought, you're giving yourself an injection of poison. A little tiny injection. But over the years, a little tiny injection, imagine one drop every day of water. If one drop of water falls on the floor every single day, after like 3 or 4 years, what's going to happen to the floor? After like 10 years, what's going to happen to the room? The whole room will be filled with water. So every single thought creates a negative chemical in your brain, and every single year, it does a little bit of damage to your body. You won't even notice it the first year. Do a little bit of damage to the body. You won't notice it the second year. But after 10 years, when you say you start thinking negative because something happened in your life when you was 10, do that for 10 years, by the time you're 20, it's a wrap. You start noticing health problems. Do it for another 10 years, you're 30. So imagine thinking negative thoughts from trauma from 10 to 30. That's 20 years of non-stop negative thoughts. And then you're going to start noticing all kinds of health issues. You're going to start noticing all kinds of problems with your muscles, problems you shouldn't even be having at a young age. But that happens a lot of times to people in our community. At a very young age, you'll start noticing people who have a high blood pressure when they're 30. You start noticing people having real bad heart problems when they're 30. I lost a friend of mine, who was like 41 years old from a heart attack, something like that. Because he had been thinking of negative thoughts and breathing that negative air and drinking drinks and doing whatever he possibly can to deal with depression that he was fighting for years. So that depression is not only something that takes its toll on your mind, it takes its toll on your body too. All your thoughts create your reality. That's proof right there. Because what you think is affecting your body. So what you think is just in your mind, your body is real and solid. So that's proof right there. That's your thoughts affect reality. And it can go much deeper than that too. But I don't want to go too deep. It's very powerful how your thoughts can literally change the health of your body. Your thoughts can literally change the way you live your life. And that's why I want us to learn the importance of mindfulness and meditation. All right? So what we're going to do now is I want us to see what time it is. Okay. So what I want us to do now is I want us to engage in a meditation session. We're going to use different meditation techniques. We're going to do it all in one shot. I want you to get an idea of different ways you can meditate when you go on. And then afterward, I want us to ask some questions, do a little question and answer before I wrap up. Okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to meditate. First thing I want to teach y'all with meditation is how to breathe. Breathe in through your nose, expand your belly, make your belly big, hold it for 1 second, and then breathe back out. When you breathe back out, push your stomach in, get all the air out, right? That's how we're going to breathe during our meditation. Something else I want to teach you is the kinds of meditation that we're going to use. We're going to use different meditation techniques. The first meditation technique is going to be a visualization. Or it's going to be what they call pure awareness. Pure awareness is just going to allow your senses to detect what's going on around you, but you don't have an assignment. Don't think I'm trying to do this. Just be aware of what's happening around you. Let your awareness make your body calm. The second technique we're going to use is going to be visualization. Then we're going to do a loving compassion, and then we're going to end up using an affirmation, which is our words. Okay? So let's begin. The first thing I want us to do, we're going to start with 5 real deep breaths. Keep your eyes open, but what they call soften your gaze. Meaning, when I'm looking at things around me, I'm looking at things like this, right? But when you soften your gaze, you allow your eyes to close a little bit. They're still open, but now I don't have as wide a visual field. So soften your gaze a little bit. Keep your eyes open, and we're just going to use pure awareness. We'll start with 5 deep breaths. In through your nose. Out your mouth. In through your nose.
Just doing this whenever you want to take some time. Just aware of the flow of energy, that energy.
you might want to share how the meditation experience was. How did you feel? How do you feel?
I could vision myself, right? The picture that I did, it was blinding, or more like,
Okay. Well, what were you thinking about, if you don't mind sharing?
well, I was on the beach,
Okay.
I was sitting in the room as I am, I was home,
Okay.
I was on my computer, all that stuff just coming to mind.
Right. And understand that a lot of times that happens in meditation, that's your first time. It's not easy. Like I was saying, it's not easy to learn how to control your mind and tell your mind, this is what I want to see. It's hard. Especially, you know, when in our culture, we watch so much TV, so much computer, there's somebody else, like I was saying, that's somebody else doing the work for you. Somebody else is creating the dream. Somebody else is creating the visual. Somebody else is creating the sound. So you don't have to do that much work. So your brain gets used to that. That happens to me too. It happens to a lot of people when you get used to seeing things around you or seeing things on TV.